recorded. Yeah.
Is
Yes,
Gina
it
in here
is.
to record?
It's
It,
already.
it already,
already.
yeah.
Good to go. Okay. All right. So obviously, whenever you're starting out as a new agent, is this your first time as an agent, being an insurance agent?
No, I was licensed 10 years ago,
Okay.
but like a lot alone. And
Okay.
I've looked and I have watched some recordings of some other things, but my initial question was just that how to get the goal. Because this looks like a condition thing, look, we're establishing the rapport, but then it goes well into the status frame, but to get the goal, I just wanted just a couple easy phrases to
Yeah,
maybe even it's just and what is the goal of doing this? I just wanted to hear something
that's
that I
good.
could write down.
I appreciate you bringing that to us, and that's a great question because you have to get that question answered on every call, no matter what, or you'll never close a deal. You'll never help a family. So it's probably the most important thing that could take place on any call. And I just want everyone to, when you don't have any word tracks that are available, like when you don't have anything that you feel comfortable that just rolls off the tongue, that's what this is for. I don't even like to call it a script. I like to call it a conversation. And this just gives you a couple things you can do to have a conversation and keep a pathway that will lead you to helping a family. So, whenever I'm talking to somebody, I'll ask them a question, have you I don't really like to just go right into, have you found what you're looking for or are you still looking? They wouldn't be necessarily talking to me if they weren't still looking. So we could just start from the beginning and it'll actually help me answer your question better if you could be the customer and I'll be the agent. So, ring, ring. Hello. And so, hey, tell me, let me see your name here. It's not on my, Brenda, right? So, Brenda, you're muted. Do you want to be the customer?
I'm so sorry.
That's
I was
okay.
talking away. Yes.
Hey, so here we go. Hey, Brenda.
Hello, this is Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. Looks like you reached out about possible funeral planning expenses with your daughter as your beneficiary. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Now, Brenda, have you had any luck finding what you were looking for so far?
Nope, I just filled out that one form, but it was timely when I saw it. So,
Excellent. Okay. And were you just trying to get something to cover like a funeral or cremation or anything like that?
yeah. Yeah.
Which
I
one
just
was it?
probably a cremation.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's what most of my clients are leaning toward these days. It's definitely the way to go. And we can also send you a final wishes guide along with what we're doing here today for free if you end up going with something. But
Oh,
was there
thanks.
anything that, yeah, was there anything that had made you decide that now might be a good time to start looking into this?
Well, we just buried my stepmother and it's been quite an ordeal. So,
Wow. So I'm going to pause for a second. See, sometimes the calls, they'll give you what she just said right away. But it's, as you guys know, it's not always that easy. It's not always them just volunteering that information right away. But the concept, the idea is the same, regardless. I need to get that information, whether it's 2 minutes in or 8 minutes in, and sometimes it's 8 minutes in. They're more like, yeah, just tell me. I've been talking to a lot of agents. Just tell me what you got. Absolutely. I'd be happy to get you that information here as quickly as I can. Is it all right if I just ask you a few simple questions so that way I can make sure I get you the very best thing that's available?
okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Just do that, right? And then the next thing that generally happens is I definitely want to differentiate myself from everybody else just sometimes so that way they'll understand where we're coming from. So this is a frame, right? And you got the connection. So we've already connected. She just told me something very personal. And so you can follow this pathway if you don't know what you would say. You can follow exactly what it says here and make it sound natural.
Yep.
And
Got it.
and right, and there's never going to be a set, like you'll notice I changed a couple of words. And they did, let me ask you this, and you can be honest with me. Did it feel awkward at all?
No.
Okay, good. Now,
And I think that's what I was looking for because I read this and I didn't find the groove yet. So thank you for that.
let's let's try that. So, let me try to hit you one time and I'll say exactly what it says, just to give you an example of someone who just does has no clue what they could or would say. So, hey Brenda,
Yeah. Hi.
hey, it looks like you reached out about possible funeral planning expenses with Tamara and Jennifer as your beneficiary, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you found what you're looking for, or are you still just looking?
No, I haven't found anything yet.
Okay. Well, that's my job, just to help you kind of look at what options are available. I have about 25 carriers that I'm looking at right here on a list. So that way you don't got to talk to all these different agents to get
Oh,
the
good.
same information that I can get you right here. Okay. So today is fairly basic, just to understand where you are versus where you might want to be. And if it might be what you're looking for, can we could talk next steps. See, I don't use that line, but if I practiced it a couple times, I could try to make it sound natural. So today is fairly basic. Just to understand where you are versus where you might want to be. And if it might be what you're looking for, we can talk next steps. Would that be helpful?
Okay.
That was a little better. I could still work on it. I can still improve. I've been selling insurance since 2019 and I sell about 300 policies or more a year and I could still use some practice. So training is always something that we're doing, not something that we just did one time and now I'm incredible and I never got to deal with this ever again, right? And so then we get into that situation that we were going into earlier, which is where you told me that you just had to bury a loved one. And when you had to bury that loved one, you gave me a very personal story. So if we can get that extracted, we can find out, do they have something, how much they need. Most people already have a policy, but they're looking to add a little bit more. And so my best clients are the ones that are looking to add coverage. They're like, I already have coverage. My best clients always do, Miss Jones. However, they find this information really valuable and then continue with your script. Okay. Now, we covered a lot there and it's been about 11 minutes. I want to answer any other questions that you guys might have or that I can answer for you guys. Any questions that anyone has, any objections, and you might be muted.
Griffin, this
Hmm.
is Taylor. I had a question about like the solution awareness part of the NEPQ process.
Okay. Any PQ
Um,
awareness?
yeah, like the solution part. Is that okay to talk about or?
Absolutely. Let's go into it.
Okay. So I feel like I know earlier you had mentioned that you want to say sentences that kind of roll off the tongue for you. When I get to the solution part, like after we talked about like their problems and stuff like that, it just like the solution part just doesn't roll off the tongue for me. It just sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, and so I just kind of want to hear like how do you do it or.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of it, I found is the wording because I'll give you a very rough example. Hey, before today, have you always been looking for ways to get this covered? Would not be very good, right?
Yeah.
But if I said, and let's see, Taylor. Okay, so Taylor, before today, have you been looking for ways to take care of this? Or I could say it exactly the way it says. Before today, have you been looking for ways to get this covered at all? I added two words. So you might
Mhm.
need to add a word because for me, it seems more natural to just add that one little word there. Hey, before
Mhm.
today, have you been looking for ways to get this covered?
Right, okay.
They could say no. If you don't mind me asking, I usually say that kind of like I call it panda pause. Like I kind of throw my hands up. Like I do it on
Yeah.
the phone too. And if you can see me right now, if you're looking at your Zoom, I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, no worries. What's prevented you from checking into this in the past?
Okay.
Hey, oh yeah, I've been looking at it. What did you look at? Oh, I looked at, I don't even remember the name of the da 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 da. How did that go for you? If you don't mind me asking, what kept you from getting something done so far? And you'll notice it says, what held you back? You
Mm-hmm.
kind of got to say it like almost in like a different, like I'm kind of sitting to the side here. I'm like, hey, why didn't you, hey, like if you don't mind me asking, like why didn't you pick these guys? Just between you and me? Why didn't you go with them? Where did they, and sometimes they'll say like, where did they drop the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, because if they did such a good job, they would have gotten the policy. Okay. Now, we do appreciate engagement. Now, there are probably some people that are, it's kind of like around lunchtime. And I'll admit, I am hungry. I'm going to eat after this call. And if you're eating now, that's fine. Don't be shy. No one's going to be like, oh, that person's putting food in their mouth. No one's going to care. Right. But I want to have everyone, that wants to be involved with this involved. That was a great question, Taylor.
Yes,
Um,
yeah. I saw how you had mentioned that like if they haven't been looking, you said that like what's prevented them from like can you say that one more time or is that if they have
Yeah,
been
and
looking?
it's on the script, and that script has been dropped into the chat. Let me make
Okay.
sure. Let me make sure it's here again for anyone that might have joined.
Okay.
And I just reposted it. I hope that that works, because if not, we can just
Yes,
drop
I
it
see
back
it.
in the chat. Yep. So with that being said, it's under number 4, solution awareness part 1, what they've done, what they want, right? So there's really never a way to lose by asking that question. Now, they might just kind of be like, just tell me the price. Just tell me what you have. Absolutely, I'd be happy to get you the things that you're looking for. And then I need to obviously ask him some health questions, right? Now, look, anything you tell me is not going to be used against you. I use it to your advantage. Some people are going to try to keep you out. My job's to get you in. That's something I like to say to people. We're just having a conversation. These carriers, I know which ones like certain things and which ones don't. So I don't want you to get penalized for something that you shouldn't be penalized for. Because I want them to be able to be honest with me and tell me the truth. People are willing to lie to leave more money to their kids. And I'll be honest, I don't really blame them. I don't really blame them for that. They want to leave as much money as they can. Why would I fault somebody for that? I want them to feel like they can tell me because I want to get them the best company that I can. Okay. Now, I'll take any question, no matter what it is, and it doesn't matter what it's about, as long as it's about final expense.
Hey, Griffin. Um, I know that as I'm listening to agents on the phone, I see a lot of them getting hung up at the very beginning, like when we talk about the connection.
Hmm.
I think that's a big one that to go over, especially because we have a lot of new agents on here. So maybe we could role play that
The
with
hung up
you.
on, tell me that one more
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, a lot of agents as they're calling in the like the first 30 seconds, they're getting hung up on.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that with a lot of new agents with the connection phase. Like they're not following like the NEPQ and they're getting hung up on real quick. So
Yeah.
maybe we could review that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I know Jessica has her hand up right now and she's awesome with, and I asked her if she had a call that you could review.
Yeah. Jessica, what's your question? Thanks for your patience.
So my question is lately I've been talking to people. I've been getting further along in calls, which is progress. But yesterday I was presenting to this man and he got a policy about 2 months ago and the agent lied to him about having 30,000 in coverage, but it was only 15,000, 30 with accidental death. I built good rapport. I went through the discovery, the consequences. Went through the health questions. He was very overweight, recently had some heart stuff. Every carrier was going to put him on a 2-year waiting period.
Do you think
Um,
Transamerica would do that if it was, I guess it was the last 12 months on the heart condition?
yeah, yeah. But he said he still wanted to shop around
Yeah.
and look for more. And I created doubt. I was like, look, your last agent lied to you. It's going to be a 2-year waiting period. I'm being honest with you. Would it be the worst idea to go ahead and get that 2 years started? And then he hung up on me.
Yeah. Here's the deal. There's two things. This is a very, very great point that you bring up here. There's two things that I want to go over on what you said. One of them is the agent lied. One second, let me just make a note so I don't forget to cover both of them. And then number two is start the waiting period. Now, there's two things. Let's cover the first one, okay? Um, what's happened, unfortunately, is somebody made a mistake. So you could even, this is a recording, right? We can review this, but what's happened? What's his name?
His name was Tony.
Tony. So unfortunately, what happened, Tony, was you tried to get something and it didn't quite work out the way we wanted, unfortunately. And that's, he should have at least called you back and let you know, like, hey, your coverage, unfortunately, we didn't get you what we wanted. You didn't get approved for the first tier, you got approved for the second tier, and it's less coverage. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's not really how I would approach it if I was in that guy's shoes. I'm the second party now, the third party, you could say. I am now someone who's trying to pick up the broken pieces. So that may be how as I would say it in that situation. I would say it a totally different way if I was the agent who had to deliver the news. We can talk about that another time. So I don't want to throw that guy under the bus because then that kind of makes all of us agents look bad. Because if one agent will lie to me, what's to stop you from lying to me? No, so I don't want to talk bad about other companies or other people if I can avoid it, okay? I'd say, darn, that's crazy. He must have tried to get you something and then it just didn't work out, for the one he wanted to get you. Then number two is the waiting period. So I never call it a waiting period unless I'm selling against it because I'm very confident I can get them a better option, or maybe I even get them approved for that day one. And then I talk against the waiting period. Okay. So the way you can do this without being deceitful or manipulative is to say, let me ask you this. What's your name? Jessica. What does a 2-year waiting period mean to you, Jessica?
High yield savings account the first 2 years. If he passed away in an accident, it would be the full amount. And I didn't even say 2-year waiting period.
Okay,
Like I said guaranteed issue and I highlighted those things.
good. That's good. Yeah, because I wouldn't want you to shoot yourself in the foot. If that's the only option they can get, anything we can get, Tony's going to be better than nothing. Would you agree? And by the way, Tony, how much coverage do you have right now? How much does he
None.
have? Right.
None.
And how old are you, Tony?
He was 63.
Okay, well, you're a young guy. You still have a chance. You're not going to kick the bucket on me anytime soon, are you?
Mm-mm.
No. And most people will say, I hope not, or you never know. And I'm saying, well, you never know. That's why we get covered. But yeah, you never know. Well, let me ask you this, because I really don't have the dominant buying motive. Why are you looking right now?
I'm not getting any younger.
Say again.
I'm not getting any younger.
Right. No, but did something happen? So that's an answer. He answered my question. I want to go deeper. Like, what did something happen recently that made you decide that you needed to do this at age 63?
He said he got a policy last year. It lapsed. Then he got another one. And then it was the agent that lied to him. And then he was talking to me and he said third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time is a charm. What happened to the first time?
It lapsed because he didn't pay it.
Mm. So, we're dealing with somebody who maybe got more than they can chew. Like, how much did they ever talk the numbers? Like, what's the monthly premium?
Yeah, we did talk about that. He was really set on 50,000. I started at 12,000, just enough to cover the basics.
Yeah.
And he was pretty stubborn about leaving each of his children 10,000 behind. And
So he has
I
five
was like,
children.
he has three children, yeah.
Okay. Well, look, Tony, you're not working anymore, right?
Right.
Most of my clients live on a very fixed income every single month. And do you want to do a funeral or cremation?
Funeral.
Right? Now, I don't know about you, Tony, but listen, there's going to be some agents out there, Tony. They're going to try to tell you that this is going to cost 15, $20,000. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't need to cost that much. That's where I lean in. I'm leaning in like, dude, let me tell you a secret. You know what I mean? Like, let me tell you something that nobody else is going to tell you because they're going to try to oversell you on life insurance. That's where I lean in. And I'm like, let me tell you something. And I tell them, you can get this done for 8 grand. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be luxurious. And most people will chime in and say, well, I don't care. They can throw me in a box and da 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 and put me in the backyard and let my dogs eat me. Stupid stuff like that no one's ever going to do to their parent. Um, and I'll say, yeah, we can joke about that, Tony, but in the reality, your kids are not going to throw you in a pine box and float you down the river. What they're going to do is give you an actual burial, and we can get that done for 8 grand. Okay. The rest of the money is just icing on the cake. It's just extra money for your family. Okay. Now you're just having a conversation. You're making it real. People always want what they can't have. I want a $75,000 Chevy Silverado that's, four extended cab, four-door, leather seats, butt coolers, seat warmers, everything, right? But that doesn't mean I need to go out and buy that truck right now. That doesn't mean I can afford to go buy that truck right now. Okay. But that's kind of their, oh, if I can't get 50, I don't want anything. So it's like, listen, if you die today, and you can let me be real with you. If you die today, what's going to be their situation tomorrow? And then, have you ever known somebody that lost somebody and they had to run around and figure out how they were going to pay for it? This is before I ever give a figure, a price. People want to find some, like, have you been seeing those TV commercials on TV on Facebook that make it look like, what do you think have you seen those? They'll either say I don't pay attention to them or it's a bunch of crap. And I'm like, right. So I'm glad that you're aware of the fact that they're showing you their temporary policies. You're seeing the temporary insurances that they're putting in on TV, in the mail. You see it everywhere. That's for like when you're 25 and have 4 kids and your wife's at home staying with the kids and you're out working. If you die, they need to get $200,000 and you're only going to pay like a cheap little amount every month, Tony. That's for 25, 30-year-old guys. But that plan, look, I got a plan like that, but it's going to go away when I turn 60. And so you got to kind of remove the false information. They think that they can get something that doesn't exist. And you have to remove the false idea that they have about that from their mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the agents in this company will not tell you what I'm telling you. It's not because they don't know better. It's just because, you know, I never hear anybody talk about this, but I have to do it on every call because even if I close the deal, when you buy a red car, what do you start to see everywhere you go?
Red cars.
Red cars. If you buy a Honda Civic and you're driving it down the road, you're going to see every Honda Civic no matter what color it is, right? That's what happens when they buy insurance or when they talk about insurance. Their radar is on Oh, I just saw it on TV for 9.95 and he's telling me it's 9.95, like $995. What the heck's going on? Why can't anybody just tell me the truth? Everybody's lying. I'm like, listen, you know that stuff you saw on TV? Yes, I saw it. Good. What did you think about it? I think it's a bunch of crap. I'm like, you're right. It is. It's a temporary policy. It's going to last for 5 years. When you turn uh, 67, it's going to drop. When you turn, or it's going to go up. Sorry, it's going to go up. When you turn 80, they're just going to drop your policy. You're not going to have any more coverage. That's not the kind of insurance that we do at my company, Tony. Oh, it's not. You want to really separate yourself from all the dude, these guys are just getting hammered with calls, texts. When they can have a real conversation with you, Jessica, they're going to be like a conversation where you're real. Let me be real with you for a minute. Like, let me tell you something that no one else is going to tell you. You just got to be a little bit different than everybody else that's calling the guy, and you want to separate yourself from everyone else that's out there in these ways. If you could review this recording, I have a YouTube channel, and I've been at a couple of different companies in the last 7 years, and this is my final home. It's either David Price and the Price Group for the next 20 years, or I'm gonna go do something completely different for a living. That's how committed I am. But I have about 100 plus YouTube videos. Some of them are 1 minute long, some of them are 6 minutes long, and I kind of break down every little thing that you could ever run into. And I like to ask questions. I know I've been talking a lot, but I like to get them to give me the reasons and the things that they what have you seen? Why now? Like that's why there's so many questions on that. Most of it is questions, just so you can get them to give you the information and you can move the ball down the field to score a touchdown. Um, and you're not going to close all of them, right? Maybe if you can get to a point in your life where you take a call over 8 minutes and you can close half of those calls or whatever, then you'll be in a really good place. If you can close 3 out of 10, you would be in the Hall of Fame in baseball. You know what I mean? So, um, we've got a little bit of time here. I'm going to stop talking so much and I'm going to answer the next question. Let me go in here. Boomer Sooner. That's why I put the hat on. So, Mr. Saxton, ask me your question, sir.
Don't necessarily have a question, just didn't know where we're at. In case I want to
Okay.
raise my hand for something, I want to throw it up there.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a call that I actually want to give you guys that I this guy doesn't sell insurance anymore, but he was in the Marine Corps, and the guy that he worked for was my manager, and my manager is Justin Von Eigen, and he sells the insurance course. That's where I come from, is I worked with Justin for many years. Um, and his name is Zach Chrissy, and he worked with us. I really liked this kid because he didn't know too much, but he also was very good at what he did know. So he kept it very simple, and he was able to do this in his first year. And I'm just grabbing it for you guys. Are you guys interested in seeing a live call recording?
Sure.
Okay. Just because I
Absolutely.
want to give you um agent. It might be on one of my playlists. Just bear with me for a second. And I'll give you guys access to, I mean, it's free, right? So it's not like I get anything from it. I don't get paid from YouTube or whatever. Um, but you guys might have seen this person. These guys might look a little bit familiar to you. And when I go to Justin, he doesn't work for an insurance company anymore. He just has an insurance course. And so when I go to his playlists, live calls, there we go. He doesn't have Zach Chrissy on that list. Let's see. Bear with me a second. Playlists, objection handling, live final expense calls. There it is. Okay, I got it. Sorry for the delay. This was a call where he closed about 3,600 AP, one call close, off of someone who opted in, just like what we do. So you're going to hear, I thought it was free, need to think about it and look over my budget. I already have insurance. This is over $300 a month. Here we go. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the sound. All right, let me know if you can hear this.
Yes.
Hey, this is Zach. How you doing today?
Can anybody
All
hear it?
right.
Good, good to hear.
Perfect.
I'm with Senior Life Services. Reason for my call is that the other day you had went on our company's website about the state-approved final expense burial programs, and you had mentioned that me would be your beneficiary. Does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw it YouTube or Instagram advertising somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of those two. Usually that's where we tend to advertise on.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Were you looking for information for yourself or for a loved one?
Well, this was a burial policy, right?
Yes.
I'm just going to back it up because we all need help with the greeting. We could all use some help with the greeting. So I'm just going to do that 45 seconds one more time because if you can't get past the greeting, nothing else matters anyway, right?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Hey, this is Zach. How you doing today?
All right.
Good, good to hear. I'm with Senior Life Services. Reason for my call is that the other day you had went on our company's website about the state-approved final expense burial programs, and you had mentioned that me would be your beneficiary. Does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw it YouTube or Instagram advertising somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of those two. Usually that's where we tend to advertise on.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Were you looking for information for yourself or for a loved one?
Well, this was a burial policy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it would be for me. I put my daughter as my beneficiary.
Okay. Now, with these final expense plans, they do go through small, affordable, permanent whole life insurance policies. Now, they are regulated by the state of Louisiana, and they're designed for folks who live on a limited or a fixed income each month, like Social Security, disability, and even our disabled vets. These aren't like your real big, expensive type of plans. You know, these are just small, yet affordable plans that are permanent and would never change on you. Now, does he know that you're doing this for her?
Yeah.
So there's two things that are happened so far. I just want to point out two things, okay? Number one, this is designed for somebody who lives on a fixed income every month. What Zach should have done there was pause and just say, and let the guy say something. The guy probably would have said, yeah, that's me, or yeah, I'm retired now, or whatever. Okay, yeah, good. That's exactly who this is for. And then now he's finding out, is there anyone else that's going to be involved in that decision? He's reading from a script. He's reading verbatim, word for word, what the script in front of him says. But it's just a conversation, guys. He's just like, hey, this is designed for people that live on a fixed income. This is going to go through a small, affordable policy that's going to cover all of your final expenses, and the leftover money goes to your kids, right? So it's just a conversation. Let's continue just a little bit more.
Okay.
Death is inevitable.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Now, I mean, is this something you would want to have her on the phone for? Is it a decision you'd like to make on your own?
No, that's not necessary. No.
Okay.
But I think what caught my attention, if I'm remembering correctly, it was state sponsored, and I do believe it was free. Or
no, it's state approved.
State approved.
Yep.
I mean, so what's the significance of that?
So any type of insurance has to be approved by the state.
Okay.
regardless of whether, obviously car insurance, health insurance, anything along those lines. It all has
Uh-huh.
to be approved by the state. So, in the ad it says state approved final expense programs, just so that everyone's aware that, this is approved by the state and it's regulated and everything like that.
Yeah, okay, I get that. All right.
Now, would a program like this be the first money you would see when you pass, or do you have something else in place, like life insurance or a prepaid burial?
I've got some other things in place.
Okay. So you were just kind of looking for the additional coverage?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
So this guy, obviously, he's pretty A-type. I'll share this link with you so you can go watch it yourself. I just wanted to cover the greeting, just because they're having a conversation. He's got some things that he's gonna say, but for the most part, it's a conversation. And he's just asking a few questions. He's saying some stuff. He's asking some questions. Some of you guys are going to be taking sales calls. Some of you guys are driving. Some of you guys are attentively glued to the screen, which I really appreciate at this time if you're here. Oh, I accidentally sent that as a direct message. I'm going to put this to everybody. Here we go. It's in the chat. If you want to go watch that YouTube video while you're eating lunch, taking a walk outside, or after work today, after 6 or something, if you're going to stop at that time, you could listen to this in your free time. I've listened to this call probably 3 to 5 times personally over the last several years, and it helped me, just kind of get back to basic stuff. Now I want to take the next question. Anything, I don't care what it is. Let's have some fun and throw something difficult at me.
Griffin, you started out by asking if anyone had recorded a call. What are you agents using to record your calls? How are you
It's a
doing
good
that?
question. That's a good question. Some people have a dialer, like maybe go high level or something like that, and you can record on there. You got to tell people, hey, this call is being recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. I don't drop that in the first 60 seconds because I don't want to scare them. Oh, by the way, Miss Jones, they record my calls, okay? Just so you know, they record all my calls for your safety. I'll throw that in there like after a minute or two once they're going to hang out with me for a second. But you can also use another phone or another device like a tablet, computer. You don't have to have a CRM or a dialer. I like to use my cell phone lately. Shedrick Cooper has made that very clear that he just uses his cell phone, and he's always neck to neck with me on the top 10 leaderboards. And in December, I was in the top 10 and Shedrick was above me. Also for the year, Shedrick beat me for the year. And he just uses his cell phone. And what he did though was he registered it to his business. So he went down to T-Mobile. I don't know where he's at actually, but he registered that line to his business. Now you don't have to start a business either, but it just kind of keeps your number from getting spam, I guess, is what he said. Good question.
Well, I guess that would be my next question. So, do we use our own business name? Are we going under TPG? He at the intro of this call, he said he was with something services. So
That
what do you,
guy, yeah, he used to work for a company that I worked for where you get about 50% commission, and they would give you some leads and stuff, and then they would keep all your business. So when you left there, that you didn't get any renewals or anything like that. So it was a good place to learn, but not necessarily a place you'd want to make your career. And so he worked at a company called that,
I
very
see.
captive, very captive. They only had like 2 or 3 carriers. If you didn't sell their carriers, you couldn't work there. You also couldn't sell anything but final expense. You couldn't even sell IULs. You couldn't sell Medicare. By the way, I can sell IULs and Medicare at the price group if I want to, which I love. I would not recommend doing that until you're really firm on your feet with final expense because it's the easiest way to get going. But yeah, man, you can start your own LLC for like 200 bucks and then you have
I have one.
perfect.
But I'm just wondering. So this script starts out, hey, Griffin, it looks like you reached out about a possible funeral planning. So if a person stopped me and said, "Well, who are you with?" or where are you
Yeah.
calling me from?"
I'm with the
What would you
Price Group.
say?
I'm with the Price Group. And the cool thing about talking to me, Pete, is that I work with about a dozen of the top carriers in the country, like Transamerica, Mutual of Omaha, Gerber, Aflac. I'm sure you've heard of some of those, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. That I work with all those because my clients live on a real fixed income, Pete.
I see.
Now, if I
Okay.
can't save you, if I can't get you the best deal that's out there, I don't really know who else could, to be honest, if I can't do it. Because all I do is work with, you're on a fixed income, right? Yeah, I'm on a fixed income. Everybody I work with is on a fixed income, Pete. That's all I do every day, all day. I just talk real simple, you know what I mean? Like I keep it real basic. I just feel like most people aren't going to be like that, you know? They're going to be very robotic. Like
So
agent.
that's what I would tell them. I'm with the Price Group.
Yeah, I'm with the Price Group, man. I work with all the best companies. I have access to them all for you. Because
Okay.
I you don't want to have to talk to 15 different agents, do you, to get the best deal?
No, that takes too much
See,
time.
nobody wants to do that, Pete. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to do that. I mean, some people will mess with you and they'll be like, "Yeah, I've been shopping around. I've talked to 7 different people." Dang, 7 different people?
Hmm.
Man, what'd you how'd it go? I'd say how'd it go? You
Yeah.
know,
How'd that work out for
how'd that
you?
work out? Why didn't you get something, man? 7 different people?
Wow.
So I have like, and I say different numbers sometimes. Like I think it's a little ridiculous to say 50. That's just my opinion. 50, like who really has 50 carriers? I don't want to lie.
Hmm.
So I got a dozen plus carriers, and that's a fact. I do. I have over a dozen of the top carriers. That's all I use. That way you don't got to go talk to 12 different people to get the same information that one guy can give you. How's that sound?
Oh, it makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
total sense.
And then is it all right if I ask you a few questions about your health so I can make sure that you don't get penalized for something that you shouldn't?
Well, I usually don't talk to strangers about my medical
I
conditions.
I know, Pete. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and broadcast all your information anywhere, but these carriers, I know what they like and what they don't like. It's just my job to get you the best one. I don't want you getting disapproved or paying more when you don't have to. That's the only reason I ask.
Yeah, I'll talk to a couple of you guys, and you guys all say the same thing.
Yeah, what's that been like for you, Pete?
Frustrating.
Yeah,
I
what
just
what
I
was the
just want to I
problem?
just want to know how much. That's all I want. I mean, you can save all the salesy talk. Just
Yeah.
how much?
Yeah, yeah,
How
for
much?
sure. How much coverage do you need to take care of your family when you pass?
I was thinking like, anywhere from 10 to 20 grand would do, I think.
Okay. Is that going to cover a burial?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this the first money that your daughter Sarah would see when you pass, or do you have something else in place?
Actually, not Sarah. It'd actually be Jay, my
Okay.
son.
Jay, well, there's
Yeah.
always at least one person you can trust to take care of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Jay would get this money. Do you already have something you're leaving to him, or
No, no, I don't have anything in place at this
so this would
time.
be the first money Jay will see when you pass away?
Yeah.
So I kind of establish a little bit of control right there because this guy, and maybe this is you, you're a little bit more A-type, you're a little bit more direct, you're a little bit more like, just give me the numbers and shut up and I want to buy it. But then we know that the moment I give him the price, okay, well, I got your number here, and now that I got your number, I'm gonna think about it for a few days, and then I'll call you back. Don't call me, I'll call you back. Like some stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like I just want to know, man. I got all the numbers here and I think this is gonna work, but what's kept you from getting a policy.
Price is going up on everything, and I just don't want to start something that I can't finish.
For sure. So it's important that we get you the absolute lowest dollar amount with the most amount of coverage. That way, when you jump off the phone with me, it doesn't matter who you talk to. No one's going to be able to beat what we got here for you today.
So what are you saying? Like, get something below 10,000 or
Oh no, I mean like no matter what we do, like just to get you in the ground, Pete, we're gonna need $8,000.
okay.
So no matter what, man, we can at least get that. Now, it sounds to me like you're trying to leave more than the minimum cost.
I mean, I would like to, but like you say, I mean, main thing, I just don't want him to have to worry about putting me in the ground.
Yeah. So what I'm gathering at this very moment in my own mind, like as a side note right here on this conversation, is that he has talked to people and it's been too expensive. And he hasn't moved forward because he thinks he can get something better, which goes back to what I said earlier about he's got a lot of options in his mind right now and he doesn't know which one to go with. So he's just going to talk to somebody until they close him and that they get like something that sounds, oh, yeah, you're charging about what everybody else is charging, but I got a couple of other offers. So I'm just going to go ahead and, kind of figure out which one it's between you and another guy. So I really need to like separate myself from that other guy before he even says that stuff. So, really good questions. Why now? Man, did you ever know somebody, Pete, who lost somebody and they had to run around and figure out how they'd pay for it?
Oh yeah, seen it, seen them, GoFundMe's out on the street, raising money, car washes. I've seen it all.
Okay. But never in your family, right?
Not in my family, no.
Good. You know what that tells me, Pete?
What's
Everybody in
that?
your family had this taken care of. And you're
Yeah,
at the perfect age. You could have called me when you were 50. That'd have been a little bit too young. You could be calling me when you're 77. So this is like the perfect age to get this done. Let's go ahead and like at least apply. Let's get this thing crossed off your list so you don't ever have to worry about it ever again. Does that sound fair enough?
fair enough.
Boom. That's kind of how I'm going to go about it.
Okay.
And I'm not going to win every battle, guys. I've walked away bloody a little bit, you know what I mean? And had to go make the next phone call. I will give you one pro tip. In my opinion, this has been a long call, longer than I normally do, but I know that it's supposed to be an hour, but I usually do 30-minute trainings. The number one thing I can give you as an agent is if you ever have a loss, no matter what the loss is, no matter how that loss happens, the best way to overcome it is not to go for a walk and smoke a cigarette and have a cup of coffee or whatever. It is to make the next call because I've had the most hateful person in the world on the line with me who was just nasty, made me feel bad almost for a second. And then I made the next call, and the nicest person in the world was on that call, and we got a policy. That has actually happened to me before, and that is how you're going to overcome any type of rejection or loss in your life, no matter what it is, actually. You're not going to do yourself any good by holding on to the past. That's not to say that the past is completely irrelevant or doesn't matter. It's just to say that anyone that we don't have in our lives anymore, they would want us genuinely deep down at their core, they would want us to be happy and move forward. So the faster that you can do that, the better off you're going to be. We got 8 minutes left for questions.
Griffin, one more last question.
Yep.
Now, if you have to send out an email, are you using your own personal email, or have you set? Do you have a corporate email address?
It's a good question. I have an LLC and it's kind of silly, but it's called Griffin at griffinsurance.com.
Okay.
So honestly though, I would try to make like the most simple email. Like if your name is Pete and your last name is Smith, I would be like Pete Smith one or Pete James Smith or Pete J Smith, whatever your name is, I would just make it as professional as I could because the truth is, I could probably get away with griffinjhenderson@gmail.com, which is my email.
Mm.
I don't know why my mom named me this, but she did, and I've been stuck with it ever since I was born. My middle name is James. I probably could have went by James. Um, but no one ever forgets my name if they've talked to me before because they never have anyone else with my name call them. So that's the only reason why I've kept it. Because they don't for if my name was Timothy, I think I would get, forgotten about, to be honest. And no offense to Timothy, because one of my best friends' names is Tim. So, but
Gotcha.
anyway, yeah, that's a great question, man. I would be like griffinjhenderson@gmail.com. That would be fine.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
answering all my questions.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course, man. And hey, I see some other questions here. The tonality for sure is huge. Anybody else, please, you have no dumb questions at all. I'm here for you and you only to help, to give back to from all the people that have gave me help. I'm here to give you some help. So anything, Sean, Leo, Liz, Michelle, Mary, Ted, Ricardo, anybody, Amy.
Hi, I have a question real
Yep.
quickly. What if they say I don't feel comfortable giving my social or my date of birth or my checking account over the phone?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't want you to give that information out either. Did you have a bad experience?
Okay. Yes.
Sorry, what happened, by the way?
They attempted to take money, but my bank stopped it.
Yeah, sorry that that happened to you. I don't need any personal information from you right now. You gave me a little bit of it already, just so I could get you some numbers. And then, I'm going to get you all the information today. And then what you decide to do with it is going to be completely up to you. Does that sound fair enough?
Okay, so you don't need my birthday or my social?
Well, I already have your birthday because you put it on the form here, but I don't need your
Okay.
social right now. I mean, if you ever get insurance, you're going to have to give it to the insurance company,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it. I don't need your social.
Okay, well, can I mail in a money order instead of giving you
Uh,
my checking
e-
account?
Everybody always gets something in writing when they get life insurance with us. They don't do money orders, unfortunately, because if you end up in the hospital, Gina, God forbid, knock on wood, they're not going to be able to get your insurance payment if you're in the hospital. Gina, I'm going to be honest with you. Do I have your permission just to be 100% truthful with you?
Sure, sure.
Look, first of all, like I said, I don't need your information right now, but if you ever do have to give your information in the future, um, the best way to not keep your life insurance would be to send in a check or money order. If you don't want to keep your insurance long term and you just want to pay on it for a year or two and then drop it, then money order would be the way to go.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, like, you know, if you ever end up in the hospital, who's going to pay your insurance?
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah, like I
okay.
had a lady, she had her policy for 5 years and she got congestive heart failure. And then she was in the hospital for 3 months, her insurance lapsed, and then she had to start over 5 years later. And then she was now going to be on a 2-year waiting period because she got congestive heart failure.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
I don't want that to happen to you. So, anyway, we're kind of putting the cart before the horse because I'm not even to that part yet. But do you have a pen and paper, Gina?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Good.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to give you all of my personal information so you know exactly who you're dealing with. I'm going to give them my name, my cell phone number, and my license number. And then I'm going to text them my license and a picture of me from my cell phone. Now, Gina, this is the same number that my mom calls me on. And I'm not Jake from State Farm, but I'm going to be working with you and your family going forward, okay?
Okay.
All right. You know what I mean? Like, I do that and I get less of that objection because I'm so forward. in offense that they got to play defense on my terms, so I don't really get as many objections because of what I just covered right there. I learned that from Tyler Glennon, who was under Real Financial Brad Lee over in Scottsdale, Arizona. He worked for Andy Elliott. I don't know if any of these names sound familiar to you guys, but Tyler Glennon was the top producer for Andy Elliott on Bradley's team, and that was over at Family First Life. And I liked that information I got, so I used that line, and it's been great. I've used it for about 4 years now.
So basically, you didn't argue with me. You said, yes, I agree. I understand.
Yeah.
And you said, when you're ready to give it to me, you can give it to me. And then you reassured with your personal information.
Yeah, like I would have probably already had given her my personal information. Like, and listen, what part of the call are we talking about? The beginning or the end? Sorry, I didn't hear your question. I didn't hear what you said.
The beginning, the beginning.
If it's in the beginning, I absolutely have no business with their social. So why would I worry
Okay.
about something right now when we just kind of like we're just going out to meet each other for the first time? I'm not going to have high expectations for what's going to happen. This is our first time getting together.
Okay.
You got to
I
be,
gotcha.
please forgive me, but you have to be the desirable person at the bar. I don't go to bars, I don't drink alcohol anymore, but you got to be the Miss Gina, like I'm cool, like I'm either, something can happen or something ain't gonna happen, but either way I'm gonna be fine. You just got to
Okay.
be like, I'm not desperate. It's all good. It's all good. Miss Jones, just take a deep breath. Hold on to your wallet. I don't need it right now. If you
I
want to get some
gotcha.
insurance, you're going to have to break it out, but let's not worry about that yet. I don't even know if, Gina, I don't even really know if I can help you yet. I hope that I can, you know.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's
This is a lot of training. A lot of training. That's the only difference. Is just train every day. Train every day. Say it out loud. Okay, guys, it's 2:01. That's right, Saxton. You got to distance yourself a bit from the sale. The more you feel like you got to have it, the less likely you are to get it. Keep the goal there, but you're not desperate. Nobody likes desperate people, do they? I don't think so. All right, so anything else?
Hmm.
I see some funny comments here that I just now saw for the first time. You got to lean in verbally and physically. Like I'm getting closer to the mic and I could probably stand over here and you would be just fine, but I'm like, hey, listen, listen. So anyway, you guys have a good one, okay? Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for the next one.
Hey, you
All
do the
right.
same, Griffin.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Griffin.
Hey,
thank you.
Griffin.
Boomer sooner.
Thank you, Griffin.
See you.